Whoa. Hey there, comic book friends. Doc and Howlett here, coming at you via the Comic Community Central channel. I was just having a little snack there. I'm going to show you guys some of the interiors of this, Tales of a Zombie. Before that, let you guys know I'm getting ready to go to the con this weekend. And snacks are certainly an important part of that if you don't want to carry large food items, such as a hand. That'll certainly fill your gut, and you don't want to pay as much at the concessions. Why not try a little bit of lembas, the elven bread. Really delicious. Made it myself. They say a small bite can fill the belly of a full-grown man. So wrapped in leaves. Here goes some elven bread. Whoa, my belly's gonna burst. Okay, so if you want to know about that, just go to Nerdy Nummies. Type in Nerdy Nummies, you get to a channel that shows you some awesome nerdy nummies. Okay, enough of that silliness. Let's get into the interiors of Tales of the Zombie. Okay, so here we go. Tales of the Zombie. I'm just going to go do a quick overview for you guys. There's basically a three-part to the Simon Garth zombie tale, and then some other stuff. So just give you guys a quick overview, show you some of the awesome interiors. Boris Vallejo cover, really great cover. I like it. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stories in here. Three of those parts are for the zombie. So some names that are in this, I'll just list those off right now. Okay, publisher Stan Lee, editor Roy Thomas. Let's see, writers in this issue: Steve Gerber, Tony Isabella, Stan Lee, Kit Pearson, Tom Sutton, Marv Wolfman. Artists: Dick Ayers, John Buscema, Bill Everett, Pablo Marcos, Tom Palmer, Sid Shores, and Tom Sutton, and of course the Boris Vallejo cover. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get through this. So they have these funny things too. These are basically clips from movies, and they put some funny blurbs in there, and these guys are kind of the hosts throughout the magazine. Anyways, let's start here. So prologue. We're finding ourselves, of course, in the moment of danger. The time where Simon Garth is about to be supposedly become a dead man. And right here, so a knife about to be plunged down into him. This story is called The Altar of the Damned. So this is the origin. So he's about to get killed, and then all of a sudden, as the knife's coming down, slices his restraints, and the lady tells him to flee. So as he's fleeing into the woods, his pursuers follow, and then that's where we get begin the story, go back in time, and how he got to this point. So Simon Garth is remembering, as I recall his name is Simon Garth. But anyway, so he's going back to his home. Simon Garth, a businessman in the bayous of New Orleans, named the Coffee King. And here he's about to leave, and his daughter wants to go as well, but he refuses. His daughter tells her to stay and perhaps take a dip in the pool. And as he's leaving, of course, he gives, well, not of course, but he gives his worker here a little bit of trouble. And of course, his worker here, the gardener, despises him and has certainly a vendetta against him. Yep. So okay, so anyways, yeah, this is where it lets you know he's kind of into a little bit of voodoo stuff with the conversation with the daughter and the gardener. So then you kind of figure out that he's kind of got a thing for the daughter as well. So here he is, just to get into his business life a little bit, just to figure out who he is and what he's like. Very ruthless businessman. You get to meet his secretary here as well. So back at the mansion, of course he's gone, and his daughter does go to the pool, but still being a little defiant, she decides to go skinny dipping in the pool, just to feel like she's defying her father a little bit, and the gardener gets a glance at that. So of course the father's away, he tries to take advantage of that. And also you see a hand on his collar. And love this shot right here. Bam! Fist right to the face. Father's back and basically, you know, lets him go and roughs him up, kicks him out. But then of course Gardner comes back, roughs up Simon, and takes him to, you know, out in the swamps with some of his voodoo friends. And then here's where you find out that his secretary is actually one of these voodoo queens. And of course she's she's kind of reluctant to do anything against him, but is kind of forced to. So, but here anyways, this is the part where, you know, she cut his restraints, let him go. He still gets pursued in the swamps, gets found, and then the guy actually kills him. So, but to him that seemed like a very quick death, and not suitable for his plots of revenge on him. So he decides to force the voodoo guys and the voodoo queen, of course, who has wronged her, you know, voodoo tribe now, by letting him go, forces her to bring him back to life, and forces him to be a slave. So he is rising from the grave, and only has slight memory of who he once was. It's a great picture right there. So this type of voodoo, or this voodoo zombie, basically, if you see that amulet around his neck, whoever has the other half of that on their persons controls the zombie. So the zombie, you know, doesn't care about, you know, flesh eating or anything like that. And this is a 70s magazine, and up to this point, zombies were kind of different. And as they kind of explain in an article in this magazine as well, they weren't really the flesh-eating kind of zombies. And zombies can take on kind of different types of forms, basically. But there you go. So he sends him out into the woods until he wishes to call him. So that's the finishing. So this story actually takes... This is the origin. And it takes place... I'll show you guys some pages here. Quite a few years after this story. This is the story Zombie, which was originally presented in a 1950s comic when Marvel was named Atlas. Some really nice artwork. I really like the zombie there. Really great. So then this is the original story. So it started off even before there was an origin. So this magazine kind of bookends this story from the 50s, gives it an origin before this story and a story just after this one as well. So he's wandering the swamps. Here's a call. So also, here's a question for you guys. If you see these pages, and some earlier, that they have all this green color around them, I'm just wondering, anybody knows about that? Was it because of when they reprinted it? Was it corrections? I'm not sure why, but when all the rest of the magazine is, you know, black and white stories, why is it printed with some of these green colors in it? So there's a question for you guys to try to figure out. So anyways, he heeds the call, he comes to this cabin. Of course, we've already found out that this fat guy there was a gardener, and now he's calling him to do his bidding. And says that he's poor, he needs money. So sends him out on a mission into town, which happens to be during like a Mardi Gras festival. And people don't pay any mind to him. They actually love his, you know, quote-unquote costume. So he just goes about his business. Finds somebody who seems like they may have money, follows them to into an alley, but he ends up getting caught and has to run away back to his master. who tries disciplining him, but of course he feels no pain and no feeling to that, so he decides, I have another mission for you, something else that I would care for even more than money, and sends him to this home to retrieve this woman right here. I think my camera can get it quite well. Anyways, crashes through into the house, tries to retrieve the woman, but he gets this feeling that he just can't move forward, can't take her for some reason. And then he goes back to the house, and he eventually has a struggle with the gardener. And then after that, he goes back to the grave, and at the final thing here, it says, the power of black magic is, it's never as strong as the power of love. How could he possibly have expected you to kidnap the girl who had once been your very own daughter? Dun dun dun! So there you go. So that was the original 50s story. And I thought it was really good. Some more, movie stuff and funny quotes. Ironhead, basically a cautionary horror tale. Guy betrays his fellow treasure hunters, takes it all for himself. It happens on a island. See him blows up the ship. It happens on an island of savages, and they see him as an iron god, and if he takes it off, he'll be killed. So he's kind of stuck there, but eventually, in the end, has his head taken off. So the sensuous zombie. So here's where they talk about the kind of the earlier origins and the film adaptations of zombies. So that's a really good read too. And there's this story, another kind of thing with witches and men rising from their graves. This was actually another really good story. I can't remember it all, but all the specific plot points. But this was also a really good story in there as well. Here's the witch. Great black and white stuff. And there's the woman that was the witch, I believe. And this child has some connections to the witch. I can't remember why or how. Anyways. Pretty cool stuff. Dracula lives. Blah, blah, blah. A couple pages of a Frankenstein's monster type of story. I actually have a couple of paragraphs up here from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Look at that. Love those old ads. I'll just give you a taste of what other magazines they have out there. Okay, so here's the final part of the story. For some reason, the daughter has to identify the body of the gardener, and seems to be friended to the investigator here. And so, anyways, when we're looking at some of the evidence, she notices the amulet there, the pendant, whatever it is, and has some kind of connection with it and wishes to keep it for a while. Cop lets her, and here, she has this sense, this feeling, and the zombie kind of gets a calling. So he rises from the grave, and he starts to make his way towards whomever has the amulet. So there he is, rising from the grave, and just for a little bit of fun and fight. Anyways, here he's on his way there, meets this hunter, meets the dogs. Just really great art. Really, really great art. Man, awesome stuff. So he rises from the grave, has this pretty epic fight with these dogs. Look at that dog just gnawing on his arm. Doesn't even care, he's just trying to move forward. Look at that, picks up the dog, slammed it. So he continues on. So then here, this junkie here, he decides to mug the daughter, I believe her name is Donna, and makes off with her purse, which contains the amulet. So the zombie continues on his way towards the amulet, which you know, the junkie here now has. That's a good picture right there too. So he tries to rob some other people because she really doesn't have seemingly anything worth it in her purse. So he tries to rob these people as well. Has a fight with the girl. And actually puts the gun to her as well. But in the struggle, as you see there on the panel on the right, the amulet falls out of his pocket during the struggle. So, you know, it's not on his person, so he can't actually control the zombie. And I like this one here. Look at the guy, just plunges the knife right into his chest. Freaks the guy out. And then the zombie ends up doing his thing. He gets a gun in the face. And the zombie right here, this whole sequence, slowly turns the gun on the guy and takes care of the junkie. So there you go. So then he hasn't even met his daughter here yet, but all around great story. So there he is, just wandering back, probably going back to the grave. But anyways, this magazine is just really awesome. I really liked it. The Simon Garth, the zombie stories, was actually really great. The whole magazine throughout was really great. So if you guys were ever wondering about getting this book, I definitely recommend it now. It's not really that long of a run. I can't remember how many there was. But not all that expensive either, really. So if you like this kind of thing, if you like the older tales, things that were from the 50s, 60s, 70s, this is going to be for you. You like the horror, zombie stuff is in, so much right now. This is definitely something for you. So anyways, again, this is Chris coming at you from the Comic Community Central channel, and for any comments, please leave them below in reply to Doc and Howlett, which and thumbs up that reply as well, because then I'll keep it up at the top of the comment thread so people can reply easily. That way, all comments and questions can come to my personal email instead of via the collab channel email, because I never check that one. Yeah, so that's about that, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.